Okay.
But he was starting to feel like he was getting the hang of this. There was a way through to victory. He could feel it. He just had to keep running the Path of Destinies. With that, the book fluttered back to the beginning, and he fell into it. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Bernardo knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong, but he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Okay. The question here, which one we should, that one we shouldn't do because, but I guess we can get the stone, but then not killing her, I guess. This will mean that we can't lead her to the rebel base. Yeah, we tried this one.
Ah, Lapino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he...
Yeah, we've seen that blabber, so we can skip it.
Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens?
A combo breaker.
Bernardo had been here, at this exact place, at this exact time. But this time, there were so many more ravens. Bernardo had tried everything. Zenobia had loved him to death. The Sky Ripper had destroyed everything. The Iblis stone had corrupted everyone who held it. He'd never put much faith in Lapino. But Lapino was all he had left. Renato had once invested in a jewel store, but it lost money because someone kept robbing it. Twist, it was him.
Round.
If they didn't want their things broken, they really ought to make them stronger.
Okay. Damn, that hurts. Oops, wrong thing. Oh, I need 10 more.
He was more and more extraordinary.
And let's see, what did we get?
You never knew where the road would take you, thought Renato.
Good. There we go.
Where did that go to? Ravens were landing everywhere. The advanced guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lupino. Where had the mad rabbit got to? Boy, someone has spent a lot of money for a graduation present.
Hey Zenobia, how are you enjoying the academy? New friends must already be flocking around you, no doubt. And the palace things are the same. I have much time to dedicate to my special hobby. I have been collaborating with Professor Calaveras and his team of experts to investigate the nature of the islands. My gut is telling me that the islands are alive. I think they have a will of their own. You hear me, daughter? Our world could be more than floating masses of rock and water. Professor Calaveras and his boys have made measurements. The islands are drifting, surrounded by the endless sky. It is difficult to notice, but through careful measurements with the wind over long periods of time, they are certain the islands are moving westward. But where to? It may take centuries, millennia to reach the destination. I have this strange idea. What if the islands are some sort of herd? And that they are deliberately searching for another herd of islands? Can you imagine? New islands with their own inhabitants? Thought that we may not be alone. If only I could live long enough to witness the event. With love, Father.
Kill the rebel! Caught one, Raven. Eat the rebel! Caught another. Dirty and bloody, Renato finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Bernardo recognized the cards. It was Lapino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am. The ravens are coming. Oh, the prison thing.
Oh.
Right, yeah. We
Skip.
capture Zenobia. We find out what she knows. And that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who happened to also be a deadly sorcerer, and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. And it would be nice to see her. He'd always had a soft spot for her. And he felt sure she had one for him. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Yeah, we haven't taken that route, but I'm gonna go with
Zenobia
this
wasn't
again.
just the Emperor's daughter, of course. She'd been Renata.
Yeah, you heard that story.
The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty. Renato checked to make sure his sword was still working. Yep.
Oh, we have enough to get our next upgrade.
Don't look down, he thought.
How much XP have we? Oh, half. More than half.
Just trying to teach you how to fly.
Yeah. Being kind.
It would be fun to try out that one. And here was a handy workbench.
Now. We need only 94 more. Yay!
Maybe I should follow my nose, thought Renato. Once, he found a Superman issue #1 in mint condition in a jar he'd broken. He planned to keep breaking things until he had the whole series.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to break a lot.
What exactly was Lapino up to this time? You could see the wheels spinning inside his head. They made Renato dizzy, in fact. He could sense the jewel's power. He had a feeling they were going to be great friends. Ha! Bet you never saw that coming.
Ah, shit. Could have gone down the well.
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lapino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lapino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renato hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renato. Oh, this is gonna be fun, said Lapino, as he ran to go set up his marvelous plan.
Yeah. Okay, so we have the only thing we need now is the elemental resistances. Again, we got all the gems, huh?
Fresh socks, thought Renato. Please be fresh socks.
You read that one. Much is left.
Haven't you heard?
is over.
Oh, come on. Damn it.
Should have done a barrel roll.
I should have gone. I should have just. Why? What I did then? I should have gone with the frost one. Freeze them. Sloppy.
Renato felt dubious about the whole plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But against all odds, Peppino's idiotic plan worked. Zenobia's ravens ran off after the geese, the net dropped, and Renato jumped out of the watermelon and put his sword to Zenobia's throat.
Renato, she said, are those new scars? They look good on you.
You never return my velvet jacket.
It was my favorite. You look stupid in velvet. Ah, what does an imperial princess know about style?
Ah, get a room, you two, said Lupino, probably sensing the chemistry.
But the fleet was coming on fast, so they took Zenobia east, over the Nexus. She'd vanished from Swordfu School, from his life, without even saying goodbye. Without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter.
Renato was aware of her feelings. Maybe this was a bad idea, but was he letting his own feelings get the better of him? Listen, said Renato. Let's not do this. Let's not do what? Asked Zenobia. Look, you're the Emperor's right hand. You are going to have me interrogated. He said, sure, yeah, but then I remembered how you feel about me. How I feel about you. You are going to have me interrogated. But I didn't, because you care about me, said Renato. Well, guess again, Buster, she said, and she pushed him off his own boat. As he plummeted towards the bottomless clouds of the abyss, Renato decided that he'd not really handle the situation with his usual finesse. He had tried something bold and paid the price for it. The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Renato shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Could he really turn her over to them? But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty. This chest was really awesome. See what I did there?
Oh yes, we're gonna use the freezing sword. Damn, that was froze everybody.
what was really fun was hooking yourself onto a moving ship.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hero wall, hero sword, firewall, fire extinguisher.
And we got all the gems. So that was a bad choice then, huh? Oops. Going back to info.
Ooh, wouldn't his gauntlet look swell with that jewel in it? What exactly was Lupino up to this time? You could see the wheels spinning inside his head. They made Renato dizzy, in fact.
Nothing over here, right?
These things could really use a hand.
Ouch. Yeah, I didn't learn anything. That part.
Renato had been the terror of the sandcastles when he was two.
There we go.
As for the gate, well, you could take her or leave her. Sorry, it's best I could do. So, what's this plan of yours?
Use me as bait, said Lupino.
And he outlined a slightly
Let's
complicated
see
plan
what
that
happens if
involved
we say
East
not to
and Ned,
use his
setting the
stupid
Farfarer
plan.
a little
See
bit
what
on fire.
happens.
Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Renato hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Renato. Oh, go ahead. I'm sure you know better, said Lupino. It was time for a little exploration.
What's that? Why didn't it freeze them? Hmm.
Fresh meat. Renato slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. Where were her guards? Finally, he reached her bedroom. She was curled up on her bed. Oh, he'd forgotten how beautiful she was. How sleek. How soft. He tapped her on the
Okay,
shoulder
warning.
with his sword. She became smoke. And he noticed he had a blade to his throat. Stay a while, purred a familiar voice. Did you really think you could capture me? Zenobia said as her ship lifted off. Now I just wanted some privacy, Renato said. Renato knew she still had feelings for him. Maybe he could just cut to the chase. But was timing right for that? Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? And he told her why. His Imperial Majesty wanted to bring the lost gods back. They could make him immortal. But to seal the bargain, he needed a sacrifice. Someone who truly loved him. You're lying. She was furious. You can't prove that. I can. And so, they set sail for the Nexus.
Oh.
The scientists at the observatory have resurrected one of his victims. Well, he's not exactly alive, but it can talk, and it can't lie. You took a big risk. You know, I could just cast a spell to make you tell me where the rebel base is. And you wouldn't consider that cheating? She frowned. Ugh, fine. Let's go get your witness. The rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Renato had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them. Sometimes, Renato really hated inanimate objects.
Boop.
If he ever had a castle, he was going to hide his stuff better.
Okay, let's see, what should we get? Yeah, let's get that one.
There was a pleasant breeze coming through that door. Had it been closed before?
to traitors! Caught the ravens. His hook didn't break. She caught up with him. Don't you think I'd know if my father started practicing black magic? Why? Would you want to join in? Oh, no, I'd destroy his books and... all right, I suppose I wouldn't. She stopped, troubled. He ran on.
You need more ore. You're halfway.
The scientists on this island had been investigating the Emperor's dark rituals on their own. They were neutral in the civil war engulfing the Empire, but they could see that the dark magics the old Toad had loosed were changing the world. Renato hoped he and Zenobia weren't putting them in danger. To Earth. Renato told the corpses. It was something he'd seen in a play once.
Okay.
Take a leap of faith, said the inscription. The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The ravens had taken care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders. Zenobia stared around, shocked. The scientists had been neutral. They had no part in the rebellion. Take me to your council, she said, shaken. I have things to tell them. It was what Renato had gambled on. The Zenobia would turn against her father once she knew his madness. But the rebel base was secret. Could he really risk taking the Emperor's daughter there, even if she did love him?
Oh, this is questionable. Shall we trust her this time?
Renato reached Lapino by Farspeaker Toad, the one creature the Ravens had left alive at the observatory. "I'll meet up with you at the base," Lapino said through the Toad. "Good thinking." Renato gave him the coordinates. "There's a shuttle here I can, borrow." Renato found Zenobia in the chart room. "I've been having awful dreams," she said. "Dead kittens and worse. I thought they were only dreams, you know. Why would anyone want the lost gods back? In those days, the favorite of a god could become immortal." She held herself and shivered. "He wants to become an eater of souls." "Well, I'm not afraid of dying. Just tired of boredom," Renato said, but she didn't laugh. Silence fell as they flew towards the ruins of the city of Ubar, where the rebellion leadership was hiding. If Zenobia couldn't help them fight off her father, no one could.
Oh, I do hope this is the correct path now.
As they touched the ground, he could smell the ravens and hear their hungry caws in the distance.
"They're probably looking for me," she said. "You go on ahead." She had that fiery look in her eyes that he'd always loved. It was a bit odd, though. How easy she'd been to convince. It was what he'd gambled on, but he'd expected more of an argument. She'd always loved to argue. She considered it the fastest way to the truth. Maybe she'd long suspected the truth. Sometimes all it took was taking the bandages from your eyes. That must be it, he told himself.
Sometimes, at home, he'd wave his sword around for hours.
What the heck, man? Annoying when he doesn't hit.
This is quite the view, he thought. Zenobia had really turned, the war could soon be over. She could send orders to the fleet that would leave their defenses wide open. The rebels could sail right in and capture the Emperor. Victory, with not too many casualties.
Only 33 more. Long way to the next level.
This chest contained a Vorpal sword. I'm just kidding. Vorpal swords don't exist.
this takes us.
A portal to an unknown destination. Yeah, I bet it's totally safe, thought Renato. Is that a word for a lot of ravens? Like a doofus of ravens?
Okay, more ore. 22 more. Let's see what this one goes.
So that's what they meant by a firewall. What unlocks a firewall?
A fire sword?
They caught their breath under a ruined arch. It's beautiful, she said. This was the library of Ubar, he said. Your father's ravens thought they had an ancient book. She nodded. Was she crying? This was exactly what I wanted, Renata thought. To turn her to our cause. So, why do I feel something is terribly wrong? Because nothing ever goes this smoothly, is why.
Mm-hmm. I should have taken it to the mountains. Punish, terrorize, humiliate. Masses have been raising their fists, led by a handful of nobles with too much ambition. Is it envy that the power that I seek is something they want for themselves? Are they just criminals who want to steal from us? It is but one punishment for such a crime, death. Make an example of the leaders. Execute anyone who dares following them. Or is it fair that the sacrifices I have been making would extend to them? It is a war for survival. Show them the true meaning of fear. Strike them fast and strike them hard. Make them suffer. Burn everything they hold dear. Or is it pride? That the meaning of those sacrifices would forever escape their comprehension. They want inclusion, a say in my decisions. This arrogance cannot be allowed. Take those who surrender to the salt mine. Let their lungs fill with corrosive dust. Let them betray one another for scraps of food. Let the children watch as they fall into savagery and the rebellion without mercy. Punish, terrorize, humiliate. Oh, come on. I want that.
This chest was really horrible. Get it? the artisans he was creating employment for. Truly, he was a job creator.
Damn, that hurts.
Renato hated gogglers, but it freaked him out to cut them. The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good. He really wasn't making a dent
What
in
the-
those shields.
Oh, come on, what the heck? Oh, sometimes this stupid shit about taking the shield off, it's...
Mother never let him wave his sword around at home. He guessed he was still compensating for that.
I think she betrays us. We've probably gone up to the mountain.
The council toads swarmed around Zenobia, shocked she was there, shocked she had changed sides. Then the walls exploded. He heard toads croaking, "Oh, the ravens!" Blackbirds were pouring through holes everywhere. "It's a trap!" cried the council speaker. In the confusion, he saw flashes of magic. Then Zenobia being hustled off by Imperial troops. So, she had betrayed him after all. Renato ran for his ship. The Farfarer flew into the clouds, barely losing the Imperial ravens pursuing him. The rebellion was lost, and he had lost it. There was nothing to do but find Zenobia and make her pay for her treachery. His heart ached. He still loved her.
Yeah, we
He
should have gone to the
trusted her,
mountain
and he
now.
had been a fool. She would be back at the fleet, gloating with her mad, bloodthirsty father. For all Renato knew, she was helping him bring back the old lost gods back from their exile.
That means we're gonna die again now.
Renato landed in the middle of the Imperial fleet. The rebels were losing badly. Without leadership, it was a slaughter. Renato felt strangely free, trying not to think about how he had lost the war, trying not to think about how he had loved Zenobia, blinded himself to her treachery. That's what it meant to be a hero. To keep on fighting after the most bitter of betrayals. To never know if you could trust anyone. Cats. What a waste of fur. I wonder what happens if I go that way.
Okay.
What had happened to Lupino? Had the Mad Rabbit fled to safety? Or was he forlornly carrying on like the few rebels Renato could see here or there? It didn't matter anymore. All there was slash and spin, parry and lunge, over and over as he fought his way across the fleet. All there was finding the girl he'd once slugged, who had used his love against him and putting as big a hole in her heart as she'd left in his.
Boom, 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 boom,
There were stickers all over the platform for really hot lady horses, with pictures, addresses and everything.
Ouch! What the? It's like now everybody was attacking me. Okay. I assume she will kill us again.
And suddenly, Zenobia was there, advancing on Lupino. So the Mad Rabbit had survived. "Save me, or I'm done for!" screamed Lupino. Zenobia turned, showing her teeth in a smile. "You're alive!" Renato ran towards the witch. "Lupino's the one who betrayed you!" she shouted. "He warned my father!" Renato sank his sword into the witch before she could fool him again. She stared at him, heartbroken. "No! Lupino's the traitor!" Then he felt a knife in his back. "I'm afraid she's right," said the Mad Rabbit. "Ain't I a stinker?" Then the sun went out.
What the hell?
Oh, damn it. He'd lost again, and died. But there was burning Ubar behind him. He still had all his destinies ahead of him. But he'd learned another true thing. Lupino was a traitor. Renato had suspected there was something wrong with the Mad Rabbit. But now he knew there was malice behind his goofiness.
Okay.